Why are polygon prefixes like hepta and hexa so confusing? Imagine trying to learn a new language where some words sound alike but mean very different things. That's what it can feel like when you start exploring polygon names with prefixes like hepta and hexa. These prefixes come from ancient Greek, and they tell us how many sides a shape has. For example, hexa means 6, so a shape with 6 sides is called a hexagon. Hepta means 7, making a heptagon a 7-sided shape. These names are part of a universal system used in geometry to identify polygons clearly. But why do they seem so tricky? First, Greek prefixes are not part of everyday language. Most people are more familiar with numbers like 6 or 7 than with hexa or hepta. So, remembering which prefix goes with which number can be confusing. Second, these prefixes often sound very similar. Hepta and hexa can be easy to mix up because they both start with he and have similar sounds. It's like trying to tell apart twins who look like but have different names. Another reason for the confusion is how these names change when polygons have many sides. For shapes with more than 20 sides, the names get longer and more complicated. They combine multiple Greek prefixes with words like kai, which means and, making the names even harder to remember. For example, a shape with 77 sides might be called heptagon, which is a mouthful. This complexity can make learning and using these names feel overwhelming. Plus, these prefixes are used in other areas too, like in science or technology. For instance, hexadecimal refers to a number system based on 16, not 6. This overlap can make it confusing to remember that hexa always means 6 in shapes but can mean something different elsewhere. Knowing these prefixes helps us communicate shapes more precisely. When you hear hepta, you instantly know it's a shape with 7 sides. When you hear hexa, it's a shape with 6 sides. This system makes it easier to talk about shapes in math, architecture, or even computer graphics. So, the main reason these prefixes seem confusing is because they come from an old language that's not familiar to most people. They sound alike, and the names get complicated for shapes with many sides. But once you understand that hexa means 6 and hepta means 7, it becomes much easier to recognize and remember these names. Breaking down these prefixes and linking them to the number of sides helps make learning about polygons a lot simpler and more fun.